Okay. Share my screen. Okay. So this is. You're seeing which screen you're seeing?
Bug.
Okay, fine. So, okay, team, what we will do is we will be discussing the first focus is on the bug creation, a quality bug creation. We will be talking more on the performance aspect, but all those points are still applicable for the other areas as well. Okay. Before we file a bug, the very mandatory step here is we need to do our proper analysis, right? So, okay, how do we confirm our analysis of proper means? The first thing is find out whatever I'm going to discuss will be touch base on the certain technical points and the troubleshooting steps, but still it will be more useful for you guys. So first try to get the exact problem time frame from the customer when this issue has been reported, and get to know that did they notice the same issue even in the recent past. Okay. Why we need to ask this statement is when we file a bug, we have to give the development a bigger picture about this problem. So we should not explain them the current situation alone. We need to explain them even in the past scenario. That is, even in the recent past, if they would have got a similar kind of an issue, then we have to get those details as well. Okay. Now, when we talk about the time frame, check with the past time when on which dates the same issue has been reported. For example, like a CPU spike or some concurrency wait events, contention like a library cache mutex or latching issues, or a query performance issue. Okay, so just get a exact time frame even for the past with the date and the timestamp. And the first check you do is whether the past timestamp and the current timestamps are matching out. It is just one. If it's matching out means then we got one pattern. Okay, the pattern here is during this time period, this kind of a contention has happened. Okay, this is one kind of a pattern or a clue just to take it forward. Okay, the second one is get the past AWR reports and hang analyze dumps and diag traces, then alert logs and all. Okay, for example, let me take, there is a concurrency issue which was reported a week back, okay, on the same timestamp, okay, between 2 to 3 p.m. Okay, so even now also it is also closely matching with the same timestamp, and after a week time they got to know. So now what you have to capture here there is, as I said, go and get all the, since it is a rack environment, go and get the diag traces from all the nodes. Okay, along with that, if it is any locking issues, get the LCK traces as well as the LMS traces along with that, and get the diag traces from all the rack instances along with the alert logs. Okay, so now what you do is just do a comparison of the, even for the current timestamp also get the same traces. There could be a new trace would have been created for the LMS and the diags also. So get the new traces for the current issue and even the past issue. Just do a comparison and see what kind of an issue is being reported, because sometimes customers, they will not be proactive enough to okay, I should say is reactive enough to capture a hang and lies down, because normally we request customer whenever a hang scenario happen, capture a global hang analyze dump and upload to us. So during some times of in the midnight or something, or very 15 to 20 minutes of a shorter duration, only the end users got to know that they have a performance issue. By the time the communication goes down from the end user to the DBAs, it would have been 15 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour. And then by the time the issue would have gone past. So now in such scenarios, when we don't have an hang analyze, there could be a chances that a hang manager would have triggered and could have generated some hang analyze traces. Okay, so what happens is, if such a hang manager is invoked, so probably we might see some Aura 32701 such kind of an error, hang ID something or error will be reported in the alert log. See those kinds of an observation seen. Whatever customer says the timestamp, if customer says 2 p.m, start looking from 1:30 p.m onwards, because there could be some the time also will be a little previously the issue would have started. So always start some 30 to 40 1 hour before the issue's time, start scanning the files and see where the real spike started, the issue started. So in case of concurrency or a locking issue, anything like that. Okay, so now once you capture you keep a notepad open, okay, and capture all the information from all the traces and put the file name, put the data whichever you captured and you find is relevant. Okay, put it in notepad for the past and the current occurrences, and just do a small scan and see whether do you see any matching things. Okay, if you do see a matching things, then go to the next step. Okay, get the AWR dump. Okay, so AWR dump for the good time and the bad, that is the last occurrence and the current occurrence. Okay, and start analyzing the AWR dump and try to see do you able to match anything on that. See, AWR dump will not give you any kind of a in-depth analysis. Okay, AWR is just a startup for debugging any kind of a performance issues or any kind of a instance performance issues and all. Okay, query performance or instance level performance and all. Okay,
it will not help in blocking and all that, right?
No. In the sense, AWR report will not help, but active session history can help you to find out the blockers and all. See, AWR ADDM will try to tell you which is a top resource consuming process and all, but I don't see any blockers will be reported there. But in ASH, sometimes it will be pointing out some information related to the blocking. So the top blocking session, one small section will be there. So that section will tell you which is the blockers and all. But sometimes it will be correct, but sometimes it might not. So you have to revalidate. So what you have to do is put all these traces in one notepad. Okay, relevant part. Don't put hefty information in that notepad. So that will not be helpful for you guys. Would capture only the relevant info. If you see some library cache log, see where library cache log is a concurrency. Along with that library cache log weight, even there could be multiple weights also will be like cursor pinner weight on X, like mute X, something like that. So wherever you see that between the time period, okay, 30 minutes before the start of the problem, whenever you see some kind of an weight event contention, something, just capture those points, information and capture it. Okay, what else, what to capture? Okay, normally we require session state information, that is state session dump. Okay, sometimes we get a process dump, and along with that we will be having a call stack, and along with the call stack sometimes we get some cursor dump also. Okay, normally cursor dump we don't get in a hang analyze and all. Cursor dump will be part of the or 600 or 7445, we have the cursor dump, so we will cross verify that. So, but session dump and process dump are very important, and if that will have its own call stack also. Sometimes that will have the call stack, and hang manager dumps also will be there, which might be telling this is process being blocked by that process, and it will be having a process ID, session ID, serialized, all those information which is always all related to the concurrency wait events. Just capture that and put it in your notepad. For example, if there are 4 files has been uploaded for 4 nodes, just capture the relevant information, put the thing which is very easily understandable for you, and make a detail, just a detail out. Okay, then do a cross verification with the AWR reports. Don't stop it from that hang analyze and don't go for a confirmation, yeah, we are hitting a bug. Okay, just cross verify from the AWR report, see what is the kind of contention. So in the AWR report, focus on all the metrics, right from the header of the AWR report to the load profile to the top foreground wait events, go to the time model statistics, go to the post CPU section. Okay, then go to, for example, if it is a concurrency wait event, just do a small check on the SQL ordered by elapsed and the CPU time. Just go on check on the SQL ordered by the execution counts and the number of pass calls and the version counts. Okay, so all these things, then go to the library cache statistics and dictionary cache statistics section. Okay, all these things are points which are related to the concurrency wait event analysis part. Okay, so but this and all will just give you some clues. Okay, will not point you to exact problem, but somewhere else some points which are not captured in the hang analyze might be captured in the AWR dumps. Okay, so that AWR dumps also, in the AWR dumps you can generate AWR report also. So just do a detailed analysis. Okay, that is the second level. Okay, then the third level is go. Okay, now you by this time with these two files like database files and the AWR dumps, now you will be narrowing down to some level of your analysis. Okay, library cache logs, some function call stack functions, some SQLs like a merge SQL or select for update. Okay, or something like that, or you will see some high version counts. Some version counts are bind sharing.
Yeah, but Guru, in one trace file there will be multiple wait events, right? So how to say that this is the event which is
Which one, sir?
affecting?
Which one?
In one trace file there will be multiple events, right?
That is what I said. Go to the AWR report and see where it is. Because with the trace file, we will not be able to conclude, because trace file will give us some kind of a, again, trace file will give more detail of more compared to AWR report, but that information will tell us which is a blocker, which is a waiter, what are the function call stack functions and all. These information will not be there in the AWR. But in the AWR report, it can tell us which is the top wait events. Okay, which wait event is waiting, having a high average wait milliseconds. Okay, which is having a high wait count, which is spending more time. Okay, the top 3 or 4 wait events. So all this information will be there. So just do a little wider analysis, narrow down to certain points. Okay, then use those points and then start doing your analysis. See, it is not only the function calls or not only the version counts or not only the wait events is going to act, even the symptoms. Symptoms means if there are certain bugs will be specifically mentioning that when this wait event contention will be reported when this specific job is getting executed, or when this job executes, or when there is a merge SQL is executing, this kind of a contention will be, those kinds of clues, patterns. Okay, that is a keyword here is the merged one, the type of the process, type of the program, like if any job does it, any kind of a truncate of a PMOP operation, partition maintenance operation, something like that, some kind of a keywords will always help. So make a note of all these keywords. Don't neglect that one. Even if you see it in the trace files which customer doesn't confirm, make a note of it. If it's a merge or if it's a truncate, keep a point that type of SQL is a truncate this one and what are this. So when doing your analysis in the KM, you put all these keywords and search it. Okay, surely there could be some kind of a, even if, see, surely you will be getting some kind of a known issues. Okay, but don't, when you go for a KM search, don't always think that we will always find, we will not find a bug and it's going to be a new bug. No, surely there will be some kind of an issue. Similar kind of an issues will be reported even in the old releases like 11G or 12C releases. Even when you are in a 19C, customer is on 19C, similar issues will be reported. But don't expect a patch will be getting it. Go through those bugs. The bug level of analysis is very much required. go through the bug, see what the development has said. See, development will not detail out lot of points that they will be updating the bugs with a very important points which are very relevant to confirm their customer hitting this bug by the support guys. So go through the points what development discuss and see whether those symptoms and those function calls which they matches are which they are pointing out are matching to your analysis in the based on the hang and lies and the DIAC files and the LMD or LCK process traces and AWR terms. Okay, just see this. If you are 100% sure that this is not at all following matching any criteria, any known bugs, and it is surely just going for a new bug, then go and file a bug. Why I'm saying is, if you file a bug, it will take more time for customer to get a solution. Okay, depends on, even if it's a 7 bug, it depends. Okay, so as a support, the first solution which we need to give to a customer is to find a workaround. The two on a performance area, we have to suggest them a workaround. First, you get a workaround. Using the workaround, you can do an RC, like a reverse engineering. So you just take that as a workaround, see what are the any other bugs reported with that kind of parameter suggestions, go and read the bugs and see whether it is matching. So once you find a workaround, sometimes customer will say, okay, they will be happy that to implement, and that if that gives the relief, they will say, okay, you do an RCA and get back to us. Okay, do an RCA, and then if still you are confirmed that it's not on the it's a new bug on that particular 19C release, then you can go and file a bug. Okay, now this is the analysis point. Okay, now coming to a bug filing. Okay, so what we can do here is bug filing is, as I said, you have to undergo certain important steps which you have to provide details in elaborate way. Okay, don't copy paste the exact customer things, because exact customer words we don't require. Development doesn't require. Development requires a more detailed analysis from the support perspective, not the customer. Okay, you can tell them what kind of a process customer executing, and you can use those terms. But on a technical perspective, you have to explain your analysis, right? So, and you have to prove that customer issue is pointing to a new bug. Okay. So now the first one is we have to go to this particular link. Everyone has this link, right? bug.us.oracle.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now after this, now you have the option here: pre-bug, escalate a bug, and this one create request. So ideally we have to do a create request. So here it is. So once you create a request, you will be getting this screen. Okay. Now these are the important areas. We will skip these two. Okay, this is one. Ours is always the RDBMS is 5. Okay, RDBMS is Oracle Enterprise Edition 5, and the component is here. You have, don't
So
type it, just push it from here.
For Golden Gate also it will be 5, like every.
That I need to check. I'm not sure about the Golden Gate part. So here I'm talking about this. See, when you use a product code 5, okay, before that we have a different product codes. Okay, all these are different product codes for all the application stack and database stacks and all will be here. Okay. So we are filtering with 5, and under this file we have, these are the component. This component and SR component totally differs. Okay, don't confuse with that. Okay, this component is a bug component. So in this, for any issues related to this character scanning, CS scan, you can use this bug component to be filed, and mostly we will be using this RDBMS. Okay, and this is the only area which we will be used predominantly. Okay, so just push it from here. Okay, then the subcomponent. Now the subcomponent under this 5 RDBMS, we have a different here. a lot of things are here. Okay, so for example, I will say it is a, see, you have SPM is there, secure file lobs are there, space management issues are there. Okay, semantic and row cache issues, dictionary cache contention, something is that you can use the row cache. Okay, and there's a transaction management thing. Here this is a distributed transaction management, and here this is a transaction management related to XA layer. And for optimizer, you will be having one optimizer here. Here query optimizer is there. Okay, so the next one, Oracle parallel server is there. Parallel execution. Normally we use parallel execution for PX related issues. Partitioning, we use partitioning this one. Anything related to the perf tools, we use the perf tools. And general performance, if you're not sure, you can, but you want to concurrency issue something, you can use a performance sub-partitioning here. Sorry, subcomponent. Anything DML related, this one, dictionary related issues we can use. So a lot of things are there. So for a time being, I'm just selecting as a query optimizer. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now this is the bug type is whether it is a enhancement request, documentation issue, or a bug. Okay. So if this is a bug and I create it. Okay. And in case, okay, in case if there is a different bug, okay, there is an already a very similarly point to point, it is matching to the current issue. There is another bug is there, previous bug is there. You can use that bug number, click on this bug and copy that. But I recommend don't do that one. Just go and create a bug here. So now here it is a customer field. We have to copy this customer name in the SR. In the SR, we do have this account name.
Yeah.
That copy that account name, don't paste it directly here, because long time back I have seen that copying directly here and pasting it here having some issues. So I just normally copy it in a notepad. From the notepad, I will take that again, copy it and paste it here, because previously there was some issue. So I'm, for example, doing it here. So like this. Okay. Fine. Now the status is, see, now you have two stages. One status 10. See, on the right side, you can see it, right?
Yeah.
25. See, the right is the description phase. This description phase means we are describing the bug, what the bug issue is. So initially we have to use status 10. Okay. Once your update, your analysis, your file uploads, everything is completed, and you want to move it to status 11, then you have to change it to status 11. Okay. Now 10. Let it be as a severity 1. Okay. Severity 1. So severity 1, normally we say it's a complete loss. Okay. It is not only a protection down. There could be some kind of a concurrency issues or a query performance, critical query, which is part of the batches causing a huge problem. The batch job is not completing, or the concurrency issues are like a latch or the mutex is having a huge problem, causing the whole DB performance issues. Then still you can use it as a severity 1 reduce. And also please ensure that the very basic important point here is, if your bug has to be on a SEV1, your SR should also be a SEV1 24/7 flag enabled. If the SR is just a SEV1 and it's not a 24/7, then development team, when they started working on it, they will downgrade the severity of the bug to SEV2 and the focus on the severity 2 bugs will be very less. Okay, less means not that much of importance they will give, because their main priority will be on 7 protection down issues. So always ensure that your SR is also 7/24/7 flag enabled. Now you have to include this one. So as a part of this, we have to find whether it is Exadata cloud at customer Gen 1, Gen 2, Exadata on-premise, or XRCS, or database cloud service. So we have to see what kind of a cloud environment they are. Okay, or it's just an Exadata on-premise, means you have to select Exadata on-premise. Okay, or you have to select a DBAS or a XRCS, just enable this one. Okay, select this one. This is a very important point. Okay, for all the Exadata and the cloud team, we have to do it, because I feel the focus will be more for the customers who are having this flag. Bugs are having this flag. Okay, next one is the port, whether it is a generic or a port specific. Okay, mostly it will be a generic only. So we select only generic. Port specific will be something an IBM and Solaris related and all, it will be there. So, but in our case, it will be always generic. Okay, so select generic. OS, again 226 is the product code here. 226. So this is the Linux x86 64-bit. Okay, then here the version here is whatever it is, Linux 6 or Linux 7, whatever it is. Okay, now the release, mostly it will be a production, because F1, so it obviously will be. Then the component version and the RDBMS version, just put it the same version here. If it's 19.7 or 19.8 or 19.11, copy and paste it there. Okay, and see, all this asterisks are very important. We are filling only all these important things. We are not doing other things there.
Component version and RDBMS version will be same, right?
Yeah. Here, okay, nothing required on all this. Security vulnerability, no. Okay, all this then. Okay, now the subject give the proper thing. Say one of my previous bug is something I have just given this. So just give a proper term where development can be able to understand what the issue is in a single line, whether it's a what kind of an issue. It's a query performance or contention, concurrency issues after upgrade or after installing a bundle patch or DBP issue. Just bring all those points in the header. So just decide it based on your problem, issue, customer issue. Then give the SR number. Okay, just put an @ symbol and just give the SR number, because in case if development wants to look into this one, they can review the SR, but mostly they will not review it. Okay, now the thing here is problem. See, these are different phase here. We have to compulsorily fill it out. Problem, diagnostic, workaround, related bugs, reproducibility, test case, stack trace, and supporting. There's nothing. Now, the problem here is, it is which you guys have to define what the exact problem is based on your analysis. Customer would have told problem A, B, C, D. Okay. Now, you would have captured all the database trace files. Okay. You would have got the AWS dumps. Okay. Now you would have done your analysis, but customer given a statement that he is having problem A, B, C, D, everything. Okay. But based on your analysis, you will be noticing that the core issue is problem A and problem B. Okay. The problem A, B, what I am saying is a wait events. Take it as an example as well. Customer is giving 5 wait events and saying all this is a contention. Don't put all the 5 wait events, whatever the SR abstract is, just don't put it here. Okay. Find out your analysis. From where do you stand based on your analysis? See what are the wait events causing the contention. I'm talking about the wait event. Even though I have taken this subcomponent as a query optimizer, I'm just talking on the contention as a wait event. So See what is the wait event. See what is the SQL ID. From when this issue started. Was there any previous occurrences? If there is a previous occurrences, do you see any pattern? Pattern such as same timestamp, same process, that means the same job execution triggered from any one specific application job. What are the SQL structures are there? Okay, SQL types, whether it is a DDL or a DML. Okay, and what else? Then see what was there any change in the patch levels? Was there any recent changes of the parameters, DB parameter settings? Okay, or any changes on the application level? Okay, so then see all these things you have to stitch it in a way to explain what the problem is. If customer says, yes, I have did some upgrade. After the upgrade, I did some parameter changes. After the parameter changes, I did some stats gathering, or new partition is gathered, new partition created and data has been pushed into it. So these are the, and then I started having a performance issue, or after the partition, for doing the partition doing the partition addition, it goes under a partition maintenance operation, something like adding a partition and dropping a partition. Okay, but the end problem is something like a concurrency wait event, like a library cache lock or a mutex. So all this change will be interlinked. Okay, so point one is the upgrade, point two is the parameter changes, point three could be some partition maintenance operation, point four or point six is the final problem. So just go along with this and see from all this, put all together points in your analysis perspective and explain it from where the issue started, how it started, what were the actions they were doing it, and what is if the customer has noticed the contention. Okay, just explain that problem. Okay, this is what explaining the problem. Okay, now comes to a diagnostic analysis. The diagnostic analysis is now which talks more about the trace file analysis, which talks more about the AWR dump analysis. Out of that, what is your observation and what did you notice? Share it there. If there is some process causing some kind of an invalidation, causing a library cache lock because of that partition maintenance, causing an invalidation. Okay, and even though the existing file doesn't provide information during the SR iteration by you capture some additional traces for an invalidations and all, and you found out that there are some particular things noticed, metrics are noticed that causing an invalidations. Okay, so all those things as a diagnostic analysis, not only reviewing the traces which was uploaded, even capturing the additional trace which is needed and doing an analysis on that and capturing that information is here. So you have to tell the development that I captured this additional traces. After capturing the additional, these are the points which I noticed. So these are the points also which is having a link to the files which are already uploaded by the customer during the issue. Okay, so that level of analysis you have to. Next, workaround. Okay, now this diagnostic analysis doesn't mean that reviewing the traces and the AWR dump. It also comprises that what is the level of analysis you did using the KM knowledge repository. Okay, so in the knowledge repository, you found some five bugs. Out of the 5 bugs, there are 2 bugs have a closed symptom, but all the 2 bugs are in a older version, right? In older releases, but not on the latest release. So you can say that those are related bugs also. Okay, because the both bugs having the similar kind of a matching symptoms and all, you can pass it here. Or even if there is any known issues in the current version, but still you are having the problem, you can refer those bugs in the related bugs. Okay, and if, for example, if customer mentions, say already I'm in 1911, I already installed one patch, but still I am seeing the same issue which is reported in the patch, same patch, patch fix. You can reference that bug also there here. Customer noticed the same bug, patch is already installed, but still they are facing this. Then the diagnostic analysis, but you can reference the bug number here in the related bugs. Workaround, if you found out any parameter or any suggestions underscore parameter or something, or a stats gathering or whatever it is. And if that helps for the customer, put the workaround here. Put it very detailed. What is a workaround? Okay. Now reproducibility. This reproducibility is whether you can first whether customer can reproduce it consistently, and then whether you can reproduce in your cell mission, test case missions. Okay. So this reproducibility mostly for all the query optimizer issues like query performance issues, development will be looking for a reproducible test case for a performance. See, at times we may not be, okay, but their expectation is to have a reproducible for a query performance issues.
Guru, for Aura 7445 and 600, still we need a test case?
Yes.
But how is it possible?
Yeah, you can see. I will tell you that one. See, first let me complete this, then I will talk about that. Okay. See, normally reproducible test case means just don't have something that in your mind that you need to have a similar customer environment here in our cell missions and all. Nothing like that. See, our main important is when we talk more on, see, for a concurrency issues like a mutex and all, if customer says, see, I've opened 3 sessions, in the 3 session I'm executing this SQL and it is causing a very high concurrency, means that you can easily reproduce it here, right? So you can import the metadata, import the objects, statistics, ask customer what is the exact schema creation step, any profiling or anything is there, just talking about the profile limit settings and all. Okay. Whatever the things related, good that, and open 3 sessions, execute the query and see that kind of a reproducible test case, you can do it. But when there is a when the customer issues something where with thousands of sessions are there, they're saying concurrency with one specific this one because of high invalidations and all, it's not possible. We can't replicate that kind of a scenarios. Okay, so what we can do is, because of the hot heat of the issue where customer production is totally down, you can just go and directly file a bug. But again, the level of detail of information which you provide in this problem and diagnostic area and workaround is very important for the development, for them easy to understand. Okay. Okay. Now the reproducibility is when we have a query performance issues, customer says this query is having a problem. You did some analysis, you given some iterations, like some parameter, optimizer parameters, some patches, some fixed control, but nothing has helped out. But finally, you don't have an option now to file a bug. But filing a bug, now you have to reproducible test case. If find out how the SQL is, okay, go through the SQL and see whether there are multiple views are there, defined dependent views are there, okay, or it is just a direct access between 2 tables and with some join condition, the SQL is having a problem. And it's not only query performance, even the wrong results also. Okay, wrong results also, development will be asking for a reproduce, very important reproducible test case for a wrong result. Okay.
Yeah, Guru, I just opened a bug yesterday for wrong result. I mean, 2 days back. And in the text file, I gave my server information like database, this Oracle username, password, and query and results. So after that, when I went to the box today, my database was killed by someone. So if
it is a cell mission, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, you can put that SID and you can.
Yeah, I only put that in the file, so they will start up, right?
In the startup, it will when you go to the host mission, cell mission, it will ask for the SIB, give your SID and do a startup. That's it.
No, but if they want to see that, they will do that, right? I mean, startup.
No. See, for example, you connected to a cell database SID and you did some test case and you just went off. Okay, you shut down your laptop and you're gone. But background, the database resides on some host mission which is still running, right? I think there should be some auto script or something which is the database which is idle for a long time. It will do they will kill the session database, or they will bring down the DB. So some auto scripts or something will be executing. Otherwise, it will be resource consuming for other DBs test case DBs to work. So you can always bring up your instances. Shouldn't be a problem.
No, but when he tests, and if we are not there, then what will happen? He will not start up, right?
See, there is no one going to touch your SID.
Then how to do in this case? I mean, we don't know when the database is killed, and we don't know when the developer is going to check the test case, right?
No, that is why what you have to give is for the wait. I will come with that information also. I'm still not at reached that point. Okay, so now this reproducible. So as I said, the reproducible is not only for the optimizer, very important for the wrong results issue. See, normally in performance we talk on the three different areas. One it is a concurrency instant performance area. That one. I'm talking majority of the issues. Okay. Concurrency, instant hang, locking issues. Next one is the optimizer issues. Okay, in the optimizer issues, we have two areas, majority areas. One is the query performance and the wrong result. Okay, now in that concurrency issues, very meager chances for us to reproduce it. If we don't have that reproducible test case, but we have, but that issue is really killing the customer database. So we have to go and file a bug. It's not only concurrency, that could be a different kind of a locking issues also. It can be a TM lock or a TX lock or a index NQ index contention. Like that, there are many contentions are there. Buffer busy waits, free buffer waits. Free buffer and buffer busy is something related to performance of the DB writer process that requires a detailed analysis. So, but still I'm saying, when there is a need, you can go and file a bug. But for an optimizer and a wrong results issue, it is very important we need to do a test case. Okay, the test case, how do we do a test case is, we can use a DBMS SQL diag and ask customer to upload the dump, okay, for the problem SQL ID. Okay, DBMS SQL diag has an option to extract the DDL of the objects reference in the SQL ID, okay, along with the statistics, along with the data also. Okay, but we don't request customers to upload the data because data is very sensitive. We normally don't want it. So our intention is to, when we get a SQL diag, we will use the option with data or something as no, or by default it is true, I believe. So we will shift it to no, and we will run that script. So that will generate a dump, and we take that dump and we'll take it to the cell machine, and we will do an installation. Okay, it will be the username will be something like a TCP or something, and we will once that import and everything is done, go and check, connect as a user and ensure that you have that all the statistics imported. And for example, if there is some functions, some packages are referenced in the SQL, or some views are referenced in the SQL, go and see whether all those views and package and functions are in a valid state, because sometimes it might be invalid. And check even the indexes. See the index names, see the object names are also in the valid state. Okay, once that TCP test case is imported, because it does background, it does an import. Okay, so now once everything is done, this cross validation of the data which you have imported, like the objects, metadata, then the statistics and everything is in valid state, rerun the execute the problem SQL. But the problem SQL, when you're executing, and see if the problem SQL is executed as from the application with bind variables, then you have to declare the bind variables and you have to execute it. Okay. Now you can ask me a question. There could be a question that without data, what we are trying to do a test case. Yes, without data, we are trying to reproduce the same bad performance plan as well. For example, if a customer has a bad plan as value like ABCD, and we will be trying to reproduce the same bad plan with ABCD. Okay. Now, to reproduce the plan, what is very much required? We need the metadata, we need the object statistics, right? And if all these tools are there, obviously we can reproduce the plan. It doesn't require a data, because the data is only the fetch part of it. Okay, only we are doing a parse and the execution phase. So parse and execution phase is required the statistics. Execution is after generating the plan, we are using the plan and we are doing an execution. But fetch is only with the data. We are fetching the data from the files, data files and all. But here we don't want the data file. We are very much happy with reproducing the bad plan with the statistics alone. Okay. Now, once the bad plan is reproduced, okay, once the bad plan is reproduced, now prepare a file, notepad, make the name as the file as a test case .txt or something, and give your cell mission host name, your cell mission credentials, like a cell mission username and the password, like it should be bugmnt. Okay, then your SID. What is your SID? My SID will be like tar gr. Okay, tar will be the common and gr will be the name Guru Rajan, right? So it will be tar gr. And next one is the password. Password will, all this is DBA password will be, you will be getting it, whichever you use, and give that. Now, tell them, give all the steps which you have done in reproducing the test case. Okay, right from the user creation, creating of the data file, assigning the quota to that user for the data file. Okay, then assign the DBA privileges to the particular user, then do an import. How did you use the import command? Give that import command. Okay, and then after importing, show us what is the objects as imported, what is the status, and what is the last analyzed date, what is the validation point. Okay, then how to execute the SQL. If the SQL is a bind, show how to declare the bind and execute the problem SQL. Connect as which user, and whether you have to connect as SSTBA or a the parsing schema test case user. Do that one and show that, and show this plan is generated. All the steps you have to provide, because development team will just do a copy paste of the command and then they will just execute it. First, they will execute in the cell mission. If the cell mission is getting reproduced, for example, you have an issue on 19.8, okay, and you're filing a bug on the 19.8 release only, okay. But when you are filing a bug in the test case, you have to test that same, you have to test the same steps on 19.8, okay, and then you have, since 19.11 is already released, so you have to do a test on the 19.11. That is also a very mandatory requirement what development is checking on it. Okay, you have to do a test on 19.11 also. Do the same test on 19.11 and see what is the output. If the query performance is good, the plan is not reproducing, but you're getting a different plan, and that plan is equal to a good plan. Okay, then you can tell development that in 19.8 I can able to reproduce a bad plan. In 19.11 I'm getting a different plan, and that plan seems to be a good plan. Okay, some kind of an observation. Or in 19.8 the bad plan is reproduced, and you have a workaround. You are setting that parameter and you're getting a good plan. Okay, but in 19.11 you're directly reproducing a good plan, means it will give us a hint for the development to focus on 19.8 to 19.11, right? So they will sure, okay, 19.6, 19.7, 19.8, and from 19.8 to 19.11 they will start focusing any major changes with respect to that particular optimizer. Is there any query transformation area? Is there any bugs on that particular query transformation? They will start focusing on it. The more and more in detail data which we are giving it to the bug, it will always help them. Okay, so this will reduce the iteration of the development to get back to us and get the data, because when development get back to us, you have to do the same test again. Okay, or you have to go to the customer and you have to ask it. So if you do it in a one stretch with lot of iterations and you provide as a package to them with the steps and everything, they will reproduce it in the cell, and then they will reproduce into the AD boxes. Okay, in the developmental boxes of that, they will do a test there. Okay, and next one is very important, is in the cell mission, give the location of the test case. Wherever you have the test case, give the location in the test case file which you are preparing and sharing. Once you share that file into the, once you uploaded the file, go to this test case section in that bug as I shown here, and tell them, yes, issue reproducible in cell mission. In case if it's not reproducible, tell them your issue is not reproducible, but you have to tell them what are the options you have tried. For example, if there is one particular query transformation happening in the SQL execution plan, and if you even disabling that particular transformation, still you noticing the bad performance and the query is not giving a optimal value, elapsed time or something, the plan hash values, then you can tell that, see, these are the tests I did. We have did a gather stats, we have disabled this parameter, this fixed control, but nothing helps it. But please ensure whatever the parameter and the fixed control you are testing or you have given the test for the customer, ensure that they are all relevant to the issue. Okay, don't give a fixed control which is not relevant to this particular query performance issue. Just don't go with the very an abstract word of a query performance and all. See, there could be some transformation like view merging, then group by push down, okay, then push down predicate, something like that. Okay, cost and elimination methods and a lot of things are there. Okay, so those are the query transformation, and each query transformations will be controlled by certain optimizer parameters. So you have to find what are the parameters related to that. Okay, now you will be having a doubt, how do I know that one? So that comes only based on the understanding of the query transformation and going through the various bugs related to that. So where the development will be suggesting certain underscore parameters to be used, and you can use those parameters and you can do a test. So these are very relevant. So once you do it, put it in detail, which are helped and which has not helped, because both are important. Help parameter also important. The parameter which is not also helping is also important, so that the development will not reinvent the same. They will not do the same test again and again. Next one, the stack trace. This stack trace will not be optimal for a query performance issue. This stack trace will be optimal for like specific like a 600 or 7445. Okay, some hang issues. Okay, like a concurrency issues. Okay, where you get a hang and lies, where a blocker session is waiting on this thing, and that blocker session is blocking almost thousands of sessions. So such kind of a scenarios, when you get a function called stack trace, copy those one and put it here, and give some more detail about it. Give a relevant part of it. And then this one is a supporting information. This supporting information is if something which you want to share, you can give us more additional details on the bug. Otherwise, you can leave it out. And 24 contact information, just give your contact and impact date. Okay. Dial-in is if something is required, like a IST number or something, how to reach you out, you can give. It's not good they are going to disturb you every time, but it is on a proactive note because you are the filer. So it's always good to give your information because you know very detail about what it is based on your analysis. So in case if anyone want to reach you out, they can reach you out. And then save. Okay, now once you save, the bug will be created, but still the status is 10. Okay, now you have to move it to status 11. Once everything you will reopen the bug, okay, and change the status to 11 and do a save. Okay, now another important point here is once you save it, you need to do a bug filing templates. Okay, you need to check the bug filing template. See, there is one Confluence page is there where bug filing checklist is there. Okay, this bug filing checklist, we have two information. One, it is important one is this is the template. This is the template we have to use it. Okay, these are the template defined by the development teams, which are very mandatory for us to provide data for their better understanding. Okay. And next one is the support template tag. Okay, now
how to get the template for particular issue?
no, it is not for a particular issue. If it's a query performance and the query performance because of an optimizer layer, then you have to go for an optimizer layer. See, optimizer. Okay, here optimizer. This is the area. This is an area. Okay.
Okay.
So all the query performance, plan change, wrong results also comes into the optimizer layer. Okay, and like yeah, plan performance. Even even SPM also will come here. Let me see whether we have a different one. So here this is an optimizer. Just click on the optimizer. This one.
Okay.
Parallel is something different. We have a different area for parallelism. So here, this is what the triage template. So what you have to do is you have to copy from here to here. You have to put it in the bug as an unpublished. Okay.
We have to update the bug and save.
Yeah, you have to update the bug save. So now this is the, what is the type of optimizer issue? Here, plan issue, optimizer plan issue. Okay. Here it is a PRS, process something related to excess time, CPU, memory for parsing issue. Sorry. This is a parsing issue. Okay. Cursor pin is wait on X also can come to a parsing issue. This is a wrong results issue. Okay. Error, invalid cursor issue due to this one something Aura 972. There are certain Aura error messages will have got influenced because an optimizer problem also will be reported here. So here Aura 600 7445 related to an optimizer issue. Okay, and I don't know what is this EVA. I'm not sure about it. Okay, okay, this is during parsing and this is during runtime. Okay, okay, how do you understand whether 600 and 7445 is reported because of a parsing and a runtime? Is go to the incident trace file, go for the cursor dump, and in the cursor dump it will be pointing you out as the in which phase it is been reporting, whether it is reporting during the parse phase, during the bind phase, during the fetch phase, or during the execution phase. Okay, you have one small area where you have to validate it. When you have a parsing phase, you doesn't require data here. But sometimes when during a runtime, it might require a data. But for parsing 100%, you not require. For example, there is one particular famous Aura 7445 function called EVA upon 3 or something will come. That points to parsing issue. Okay, clearly if you see the cursor state dump in that incident trace file, you will be having that information. Okay, so you have to first confirm. You cannot check all this. You have to, for example, if the query performance issue, you have to just say yes or do a click or whatever it is here. Okay, others not required. If the problem is result to wrong issue, just click yes here, or type yes here and or Y here. Or if it's because of Aura 600 7445 during parsing phase, put it here. Next one, supporting diagnostics. Okay, compulsory is the inventory output. Alert log is important. Incident trace file. Okay, but for an Aura query performance issue, we don't want an incident trace file. Okay, like a wrong result, we don't want an incident trace file. That, but 153, 146 is very much important for a query performance or a wrong result. Okay, so this incident trace file is required for Aura 7445 and invalid error, because we use that error stack for that error message, and we will get some this one, that incident trace will be there. Sometimes CPU parsing also it comes under to that 153 or 146. Okay, but sometimes we request an incident trace file, because when a SQL stuck on parsing for a long time, it will spin on the CPU, and then what we will do is we will take frequent short stack or P stack, and we will upload that. So that will also part of this incident trace file. Next, call stack and short stack. As I said, if you have taken a P stack or short stack, mention that yes, attached. Okay, now SQL ID, fill in the SQL ID. If SQL ID is constant, mention it as constant. If it varies, tell them that it is keeps changing. Okay. And reason for the variability, why the SQL ID is varying. If it's a literal values or auto-generated SQL or system-generated commands, give appropriate here. And if something which is not part of this, you specify what it is. Problem reproduces only in customer side. If yes, you have to give the reason why it is reproducing customer and why it is not in our real problem. What is the real problem for us not reproducing it? You have to explain them. Next one is reproducible test case. Yeah, reproducible test case is SQL diag. but you have two more options. For a query performance issue, by default, SQLT will generate a test case builder, test case dump, and using the test case dump, we can do a reproducible test case. Again, it by default, it will not be a data. Again, it will be having a stack that is object statistics and metadata. Okay, that's one. Custom is something we are explicitly customer providing an export dump, metadata, creating steps and all, where we take that which is not part of the SQLT or a SQL direct, and we are importing and we are doing a configuration. Okay, so we have to tell them collected, verified, and reproduced. Collected, verified, but not reproducing. Tell them why it is not reproduced. Reproduced in ADC, these are compulsory for tier 1, and if reproduce in ADE as a development mission, in case if you can able, you have to mention yes, if not, no. Reproduce in main, if you have option to reproduce, yes or no, not the cell. Cell is different and ADE and main is different. Okay, so don't take the output from cell and fill it here. Okay, these are total two different areas. Okay, reproduce in customer version, mention if yes, and if you reproduce in higher version also, mention that I have reproduced even in a higher version, that is 19.11, where customer is on 19.8. So development will have little broader idea. Duplicate bug, if you find some duplicate bug, put the bug details here, bug number. If you have used tool, this is the downgrade script tool, which is optimizer downgrade script. For example, if customer says upgraded from 12.1 to 19, query performance issues, new problem. So you have used this downgrade script, and using the downgrade script, you found one fixed control or one particular parameter, and you tell that yes, I've used it, and this particular fixed control or parameter is helping. So whether production, okay, reproduction version, testing result details, you have to provide all this. Problem introduced or fixed. All these are more details for the dev team. So for example, between the version, as I said, from 12.102 to 19.11, okay, customer upgraded, they need, but you found that 12.102 OFE is helping out me, then you have to tell them that 12.102 is helping out, but introduce the problem introduced in which version. You have to test with OFE 12.102. Okay, issue resolved. Issue is not reproducing. 12.201 OFE. Okay, issue is not reproducing. From 18Z, issues started reporting. So that means the problem started from 18 only, not in 12.2. Okay, even though customer is on 12.1 to 19, they have upgraded, but in 12.2 OFE it is working. From 18C onward, they started noticing. So you have to tell them that your problem introduced between 18C and 19, between OFE, this one and this one, and this is the fixed control, and this is the parameters helping by using this particular node. Go through this node, keep this node handy for your performance troubleshooting for any database query performance issues reported after DB upgrades. Okay, then finally give a summary of the issues in 2 or 3 lines and tell what is the workaround is used. Okay, and if the customer says I cannot use the workaround, give the explanation there why they are not able to use the workaround, and they need a fix or something. Don't put all these things. It's just for your validation, because these are the points which they are required for the development. Okay, these A, B, C, D and all. If you are using OPT plan, if OPT plan means ADE is required. What is A? A is OPATH inventory, D is 153 and 46. That is optimizer one. Okay, this is that is sorry, plan change issue. If it's a parsing issue, for parsing ADEF. So A is the this one, D is the this one, E is this one, and F is short stack. As I said, when we will take short stacks frequently for the cursor pinners wait on next for the parsing, just to understand where this parsing gets stuck, where it gets sleeps. Okay, like that. These are this. Just cross verify all this. So this is the one, and this is so like this. You have parallel execution. See, this is one for parallel execution. If you're filing a bug for the parallel execution, select this area, par execution. Don't search for parallels. What happened? It is not here. Okay. Okay, it is not dev. It is support tries template here. Okay, so now this is here. Okay, now. So now now we are filing a parallel bug. Okay. Now you want a template for the parallel execution, PAR. Just go and search. So you have PAR execution is there. Okay. And partitioning is there. So now you use this one, parallel execution. Click on that and it will display the template. See, section 1, general information. Go through this before filing a bug. If you already decided it's on parallelism layer, first take the template, go through the template and ensure that whatever the information they have asked, it's already there with you. If everything is there, then go and file. If something is not there, go and request from the customer or collect it from the course mission or from here and keep it ready and file it. So the section 1 is the general one. Section 2 is various types of PQ bugs. So PQ bugs, wrong results can also report. Performance issues can report. Aura 600, 744 internal PX errors, hang issues. Aura 12850 or statement not run in parallel. 12801, this one. Okay. This PX mismatch or PQ slave mismatch and cursor sharing like a version counts. Okay. And so a lot of things are there. So you can use this as a troubleshooting steps also. You can collecting a diagnostic from the customer. Okay, if you copy this one and put it in your plat, so you can find it out what is required, what kind of tracing is required. Okay, so what information which we need to gather. So just go through it and see this one. So important is you have to decide. For example, if you are filing for Aura 600 7445, what they are saying, incident file is required, alert log. If it reproduces with explain plan and plus query, please turn on this traces. For example, you are getting Aura 600 error with the DW area, that is a parallelism area, PX area. Workaround is if you don't use PX, issue is not happening. But if you use a parallelism, issue is happening. See whether the same 600 reproduces with explain plan and the query without data. If reproduces in your cell mission, then gather this traces, run the explain plan and provide this traces as part of this tracing event set along with the SR. So you have to ensure that all these files are uploaded. Okay. And this is next one is partitioning area. Let me see what is there in the partitioning. Okay, so this is also partitioning. Even wrong results can report because of the partitioning also. Okay. This is a partition maintenance. PMOP is a partition maintenance operation. If you're filing a bug for a PMOP area, you can use it for the performance issue. So you just copy, example, this one. And if there's a performance issue, just copy this one and say, yes, I uploaded this one, uploaded, done. Okay. After put all this template here. See, normally when we, after this one, wait, let me open a bug. Oh, sorry. One second. We will show you. So here, this is already a fixed bug. Okay, don't worry. I'm not going to do any change status or anything. Okay, what I will be doing is such a huge bug. Wait. Let it. Okay. So now, once you do it, I will just use this edit bug. I'll click on this one. Okay, and okay, this is the edit bug. Okay, once the bug is filed means this is a screen where I will be getting it in the edit mode. Okay, so now in this edit mode, okay, now it has loaded everything. So now you have an option to this one. Do an update. So I will just use this hide. Okay, I don't want customer to you see my templates and all. So once this template is filled, okay, this problem description and this one is filled, or
You
that
have to
optimism one, I
You have to
will.
update in.
Sorry.
You have to update in that, right? Once it is filled.
Yeah, once it is, I will just go and put it here. Once I fill the template, I will put this one and do a save. Okay.
Yeah.
After that, now the bug is status will be in 11. Okay. So immediately after filing the bug, you have to do this one. Okay, support template. Okay. Then change the status to 11. Okay. After changing the status to 11, you will be having one tag section. After the bug is filed, you will be seeing a tag. In this area tag, this is an old bug, so you don't see what the tag I'm showing. You have to go to this one, copy this one, support template used. Okay, support template used. Just go there and just put it here. Just copy here. See, when you file a new bug, you will not see any tags. You can see 1 or 2 tags, but nothing will be there. Just give one space and paste this support template used. That means you have to use this tab support template used tag only after putting the template, not before that. If you do that one and if you don't put the template, development will place it back to us. They will ask us to do the work. So put the template and this one. Now, then save it. Okay. After doing the save, it will be there. Another one is important one is impact and symptoms. This is also important one. So now you have to click that one. Once you file a new bug, whatever it is, it will open like this. In this, you have to decide what kind of an issue. Whether it is a performance or it is a hang issue or it is a diagnostic related or crash. Crash comes for or a 600 7445 also. Okay. And upgrade or recovery or wrong results. See, wrong results is incorrect rows. For example, if customer is getting a wrong result means what? Is an incorrect road or incorrect DDL or whatever it is. So we have incorrect rows. Okay. Now performance. Performance means what performance it is. It is a database performance or latch performance or ASM related or rack contention or mutex contention. For if it's concurrency issues, we put a mutex contention. Okay, then what other? Latch contention, we do latch contention. I don't know why this query performance is not there. This is for hangs, for Golden Gate process and all. You can see something related deadlock or DB instance hang or clusterware agent or entire ASM is hang. Okay. It is memory leak related, non-systems security and this one and other areas. So you patching related to the patch. So upgrade. Downgrade, incorrect failure, hang, upgrade, incorrect, invalid components. So you have to choose some close matching symptoms, then select this one and just push it back. Okay. Then you need to do add button. If you do just a close, it will not add, just add it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it. Once you complete all this, then once you move the status to 11, ping the tier 1 engineer and ask them to get this assigned through BAT. Okay. Once it get what is the BAT assignment is? BAT is the one which we assign it to that area queue. So what is the area queue here is this is a query optimizer is an area queue. Okay. So in this area queue, if you that will get assigned to the query optimizer layer, and the bug development engineer who are in the tier 1 support, like we are in the shift support, they will be in that shift time and it will be listed them and it get assigned to them. Once it get assigned, go and see to whom it got assigned. You can use this one and go to that people go to the ARIA and get the mail ID of them. Just drop a mail or ping them in Slack and tell them this is the bug which I filed, you got it assigned, and just tell them what is the issue and what are the files you uploaded, and any information you want to mention, you just tell them. And again, if it is very critical where customer wants to escalate and all, you have an escalated option is here, escalate. But to escalate this one, tier 1 has to do it. So ping any of the tier 1 engineer, they will do an escalation. For doing the escalation, you have to provide two very important information. One is the technical justification and the business impact. Once you provide this, we will do it. Okay. So this is what the bug thing. So just go through this recording once or twice, so you will have a fair idea. And
Yeah, actually Gauri showed us how to open a bug, but he didn't show the template.
oh, okay.
And he didn't put the template also after creating a bug.
Oh, okay. So
So-
just see, it is everybody's responsibility to do that one. So probably he would have busy with some other issues. So, but actually template is very important. If you don't have a template, then it might be, they will be pushed back to us. Okay, so the important points are there here is, I will tell you that this one, the database cloud, what type of cloud it is, environment 1. And the next one is tags. This is the one, this is the tag area. Okay, and before tag is the support template. Triage template is important. Go to the Confluent page and search for the optimizer or partitioning or parallel, whatever it is. Third one is the tag. In this tag, you have to copy paste that support template use tag here. Copy this one and paste it here. Okay, and fourth one is the impact and symptoms. This impact and symptoms is important. Okay, and fifth one is, I don't say it's a fifth one, but the foremost important is all this problem definition and the test case and whatever it is. But this triage template will give you some idea for the parallelism, what kind of traces they are looking for. You can collect it. Okay, done.
Yeah.
I hope it is clear. So just go through this recording once or twice. So
For
once
Aura 600 and 7445, if we can't reproduce the test case, then what to do?
see, test case reproducible is only for to help development team to progress. Okay, why the development has to progress faster is we will get a faster fix. If you don't give a test case reproducible, obviously it will take time for them. Okay, so put some effort from our side, do a reproducible and give it. For example, any test case reproducible issues are there. If it's a non-24, SEV1 and SEV2, SEV4, SEV3 is SR. Try to do it after a shift task so that you will get some time, patience, and you can peacefully do it. But SEV1 24/7, obviously we have to do it in a shift time because we have to do that and we have to file a bug. So see how the scenario you get it. So once you do twice or thrice, you will get comfortable in all this process things, and you can, it's not going to be a big task for you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any doubts, anything here?
No, can you just ping us that?
Yeah, I will
Plan?
give you that conference link.
Yeah.
I will give you the conference link and for the bug filing, and see, I will give you this link, and here, this is the template. Just click it, right click and open it. And this is the tag which you have. Just go through this. See, they will be mentioning what is this important. See, they have given a different types service type. It will be helpful for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Thanks, Paras. Thanks, Madhavan and Shashi.
Thanks, Guru. It was
Yeah.
really useful.
Thanks. Guru.
Yeah, sure. Take care. Bye.
Bye.